Okay, guys, Adam Trigger here. Hope everyone's having a great weekend. It is Saturday morning, and it's time for another Major League Baseball free pick right here on the Wager Talk YouTube channel. A very easy free pick winner yesterday. Mariners-Mets was over by the fourth inning, and a 2-0 day on client plays for me. I had Pirates plus 1.5 and LG Twins over in Korean baseball for a 2-0 day. I'm now 22-4 on my last 26 selections overall. And I've got a great special going right now, which is scrolling at the bottom of your screen. But it's time to get into Tigers Twins. Interesting matchup here. And I'm going to start by talking about the Twins and saying sort of what I've said pretty much on a daily basis since the trade deadline, when they sold off their whole team and traded, I believe it was a record 11 players on that day or in that 24-hour period. It's made the Twins a very intriguing team from a betting perspective, because I didn't mind a lot of the guys that they shipped out. It was relievers that they got a reasonable return for, and it's opened up some spots for some of their very talented young players like a Luke Keschel. They get Alan Roden back from the Blue Jays, and there's a whole bunch at AAA that still haven't got the chance. It's giving their younger players a chance to play every day, and I think that's exciting because there is a lot of good young talent in this organization. There's also some good young pitchers, one of which we're going to talk about here in Zebie Matthews. The only problem with the Twins, and the reason I'm kind of coming on here and talking about it as a free pick as opposed to like making client plays on the Twins, is they don't have all of their best players at the big league level. They've got guys like Mick Abel, like Taj Bradley, James Outman, all guys that they got back in trades that they're for whatever reason playing at AAA right now instead of the big leagues. And so it's sort of had me question like what the end game here is for the Twins. Because really, even when they traded everyone, they still weren't that far out of it. So it's like, have they totally punted on the season to where they're just like going to play who they want to play, have guys stay at AAA and like go forward to next year? It's been really tough to tell from like a team construction standpoint. But the guys that are out on the field are playing hard. Like the Twins, for the most part, the last couple of weeks have played hard. Their young guys have played well. Luke Keschel's an absolute stud. And there's guys like Zebie Matthews who are clearly starting to take a step forward at the big league level that has me sort of intrigued on looking for spots to bet the Twins. So let's talk about Zebie for a second. He was a guy that shot through the Twins organization last year. He started in, I believe, A ball last year, maybe high A. And by like June was up in the big leagues, making his major league debut. So he flew through I think he played at 4 different levels of the Twins organization last year: A, AA, AAA, and then he was right in the big leagues. And honestly, looking back at it, it was probably a little bit too quick. What made him so good in the minors was that all he does is throw strikes. All he does is throw strikes. Everything is over the plate. Everything is in the zone. And with the stuff that he has, a 97 mile an hour fastball, a really solid like 4 to 5 pitch mix. If you're throwing strikes with 5 different pitches in the minors and you can throw 97, you're going to have success in the minors. The problem is when you get to the big leagues and they have all this data on you and there's all this technology, and then everyone in the majors can square up a 97 mile an hour 4-seam fastball. That's when you get in a little bit of a trouble. And I think that's what's happened to Zebie so far at the big league level. Everything's over the plate and big league hitters can hit it. And that's kind of what he struggled with at the big league level last year. This year, he's actually, if you look at his whole body of work this year, it's very good. But I will point out that there's been many of his good starts have come at AAA. But I also want to point out that, he did miss some time earlier in the year, had to sort of build himself back up from like a brief injury. And now I think we're really seeing him start to turn a corner at the big league level. He's shown it at AAA the last year and this year. His numbers at AAA are outstanding. The big leagues has been a different story. But now if you look at 3 of his last 4 starts, the one that really stood out to me was the start against the Nationals, 6 innings, 6 shutout innings, 2 hits, 7 strikeouts, 0 walks. That's one thing that even in his time in the big leagues, he doesn't walk anyone. I mean, he lives in the zone and he doesn't walk anyone. So the other reason that's important in this matchup is he's almost guaranteed to go 5 or 6 innings. And that's really key because the Twins are lacking in the bullpen department right now. They just don't have many arms that are worthwhile. They traded away Johan Duran. They traded away Griffin Jacks. They traded away Brock Stewart. So they don't have as many bullpen arms. And you can pretty much set your watch to Zebie giving you 5 or 6 and being pretty good at this point. The Tigers, he faced the Tigers in Detroit, got the win. 5 innings, 1 run on 5 hits, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. Last time out against the Yankees I thought he pitched tremendous. Like he got in trouble early, gave up a homer or 2 in that game in like the first inning or third, like early in the game. Ended up going 5 2/3, 3 earned runs, 6 hits, 9 strikeouts, 1 walk. 9 strikeouts against the Yankees and 1 out short of a quality start. So again, Zebie Matthews is a guy that I'm looking for spots to play on. He's got a great fastball. He's getting swing and miss, and he's doing it while living in the zone. That's the sign of a pitcher that's probably going to be pretty good at the big league level going forward because he's got command in the zone. And so it's really just a matter of maybe tweaking little things here, not catching as much of the plate with the slider, being able to throw like a changeup or a curveball for an out pitch as opposed to sort of leaving it in the zone. Those are little tweaks. And when he does that, he's probably going to be, he will probably pretty quickly become one of the better starters in the American League. So right now, when we can get him at even money at home, that's something I want to look at. On the other side, you have Casey Mize. He got off to a tremendous start this year, but the regression has come as I expected it to. If you watch Total Bases, I do a daily show, Wager Talk YouTube channel, 5 days a week, 9 a.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday. We talked about Mize and being unsustainable, and that's exactly what's happened. He's starting to trend back toward what his sort of career numbers were. The ERA is now up to 3.5, which is very good, but a lot of those good numbers were accumulated earlier in the year. The WHIP is climbing. It's 1.27. A couple more starts that aren't great. It's going to be in the 1.3s, and that's kind of where I expect him to be based on just his overall stuff. He's not the guy they drafted at this point. He's worked through some injury. Fastball's still pretty good at 94, 95. It's got good movement, but the mix is not great in my opinion. He doesn't have a really reliable off-speed pitch. So, he's got 4 or 5 pitches, but most of them are they pretty much everything Casey Mize throws is between like 87 and 94 miles an hour. He doesn't really change speeds at all. And so, he's another guy. He's going to throw a lot of strikes. He's not really walking anyone. That's good. But if you're constantly in the zone and everything, you don't have that differential as a pitcher. Everything's like between 88 and 94. Like you better have some really, really sharp movement on your stuff to get swing and miss. It's not terrible. His stuff isn't terrible. The splitter's not terrible. The slurve sliders that he throws are not terrible, but they're not. It's just they're too similar to his fastball. And now, so he's not getting the swing and miss. And now that there's a little bit of a book on him or what he's doing now, he's giving up hard hit. And it's the reason that his numbers aren't as good right now as they were earlier in the year. So Mize is still a guy that I'd okay playing against, especially when he's playing in his division against a team like the Twins, who has seen him a ton and probably has a better beat on him than the rest of the league. So I think you have a good fade here in Mize, a play on guy in Zebie Matthews. You're getting the Twins at home at a pick, and they're probably not going to get swept in this series. I think they've played the Tigers for the last, month or two when they've played tight enough where I just don't think they're going to get swept at home. They lose a tough one on Thursday. Last night, the Twins get blown out. My gut tells me the Twins are taking one of these 2 games today or tomorrow. Zebie on the mound here with some of the better relievers. This is probably the spot where the Twins get it done. So Twins even money is a play that I have sort of on my radar for today. Not sure if it'll make my client card, but certainly the way I would play this game. Twins money line. And right now, I think you can actually still get plus 101 or plus 102 some places. My guess is Twins probably go off minus 105 or maybe even a slight favorite. Finally, big special for me. Two big specials at Wager Talk. You can get the rest of my Major League Baseball season for under $3.50 a day. And I've also got a 30-day pass. That's $100 off right now. All sports right now, I'm rolling 22-4 in my last 26 across all sports. And that also gets you the preseason NFL and the beginning of football season, 2-0 NFL preseason. And I'm sure I'll have at least one NFL preseason play this weekend. So check out those specials. Again, let's cash another free play winner. And I hope everyone has a great weekend. I'm off tomorrow. We'll see you guys Monday morning, total bases, for more and more free plays on the Wager Talk YouTube channel. Hope everyone has a fantastic weekend, and we will see you guys on Monday morning.